Hey Aquarius, hope you guys had a good weekend. This read is going to be for you guys. I'll get started the same way I always do, my oracle cards, and then I'll move on to the tarot deck just to clarify. So universe, what messages do you have for Aquarius today? What advice? What guidance? Oh, they're like all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because I feel like she wants to talk. Wisdom. Oh, she definitely wants to talk. I pulled the universe card here. So universe, the crown chakra, which tends to represent spirituality, foundation and achievements, and conflict and defeat. So usually when I see the universe card, to me she speaks of a universal life lesson, or sometimes following a universal path as well. And the destiny card also tends to speak of that in my reads as well. So I feel like that's definitely what we're headed to. A life lesson, a growth, following along a particular path. I feel like we're finding wisdom within that journey as well. Pulled spiritual union, emotional loss, partnerships and alliances, stand your ground, and discontent and boredom. So I feel like we are going to be speaking about a romantic relationship here. I'm not sure that the relationship has ended. We might have been going through a rough time and had to negotiate a new way of being. I'm going to pull more cards just to clarify the read. So I have the Seven of Swords here, and the Seven of Swords usually represents a situation in which you felt that you were treated unfairly. Maybe something was taken from you without guilt. They also have the Four of Pentacles, and they tend to call them the Miser card. I don't know that we're talking about money here, but I'm starting to feel like part of this unfairness was you felt like maybe your partner was holding back from you. And I get more of an emotional feel off that Four of Pentacles than financial. I have the Hanging Man here too, and the Hanging Man tends to represent sort of letting yourself get hung up by negative thoughts, negative emotions, holding yourself back from making a change or a decision. I do have the Ten of Pentacles, which speaks of abundance, and so does the Three of Pentacles. It speaks of work that you're doing, starting to see the payoff of that. So I feel like from the cards that I pulled so far here, we're talking about a relationship where you have had issues with somebody holding back. I feel like it's emotionally, I feel like it's on an emotional level. Somebody was maybe a little withdrawn. But I feel like there was a conversation and there was a mending. And that we're now working through that, and we're starting to see the changes and the difference in the relationship. And I have the Four of Cups, and he tends to represent indifference. I feel emotional withdrawing in this. So I think that was part of the issues that you have. I had the Seven of Wands. To me, it ties in with the Stand Your Ground card. And I don't know that it's so much as stand your ground as being able to start that conversation with your partner, to be able to be assertive, to be honest, to be open to hearing what they have to say, then being open to hearing what you have to say, being able to start that dialogue to initiate some change. I have the Five of Pentacles, and it can speak of going through a rough time financially, but I don't really get a financial feel off of this. I get more of an emotional feel. That maybe you guys were in a spot And it might have had to do with situations in life where you were both feeling emotionally drained, and maybe that's why it wasn't there to give, or why it wasn't being given, because someone was just feeling that exhausted from everything else. But I do have the Nine of Pentacles, which speaks of abundance, and I feel like that's where you guys are at now. I feel like you've been able to come through the other side of this and learn a new way of being and be able to build on your relationship. I have the Seven of Cups, which represents choosing wisely and having many options. And I think that speaks to where you guys were at, that you did have different options on how you were going to handle your relationship. You could have both chose to just let it devolve. You could have chose to keep going the way it was going. I feel like the Tower speaks of what the end result would have been had you guys not made the change. But I feel like in you choosing to change, you were able to get that emotional abundance. I have the Three of Wands, which also speaks of positive movement forward, positive progress, while keeping your eye on the goals, and the Ace of Swords, which represents triumph. So I feel like that's where you guys were at in this situation. You made the decision to change, and you're actively working towards that change now. I have the Ace of Pentacles, which speaks of new beginnings. It usually speaks of finance, but again, to me in this read, I just get an emotional vibe off of all of this. This is deeper than just finance. I have the Hierophant. In this read, to me, he speaks of a higher learning. And I feel like he ties in with the Wisdom card as well. And I think the Crown Chakra. Because I think both of you have been able to grow as people, being able to have these conversations with each other, to do some deep thinking and make some changes. I have the Six of Wands, which represents triumph as well. And the King of Pentacles here, to me, I see the words emotionally rich when I look at him. And I feel like that's how you guys are feeling now. I feel like it's just like a new lease on life, starting all over again. I have the Nine of Swords, and it speaks of being stuck in sort of negative thoughts and having a tough time seeing your way clear of them because of emotions as well. And I think that's also speaks to where you guys were at. I feel like the Eight of Pentacles, which is sometimes called the Apprentice card, I feel like that's what you guys had to do to get out of there. I feel like there was some learning of yourselves, of each other. I feel like it ties into the Hierophant and the Wisdom card as well. And I have the Magician card. And the Magician card speaks of having all the tools that you need to be successful. And I feel like that's where you guys are at now. That you've done the work. You know what you need to do to be able to keep moving forward, to keep that positive progress going. I feel like this line of cards speaks to your change as well. So I have the Five of Cups, which represents feeling, again, stuck in negative emotions. So much so that you can't see the positive around you. And I have the Ten of Wands, which speaks of feeling overburdened. So I think things built up over time before this change happened. I have the Ten of Cups, which speaks of emotional abundance in the home life. And I feel like that's where you're at. I also have the Ace of Wands. And I feel like there's a new passion to your relationship. You guys have achieved much deeper connection. And I feel like it's helped you reconnect in other areas as well. And that's what the passion speaks to. And then I pulled harmony. And I feel like that's where you guys are at right now. You've been able to find that harmony. I got positive movement forward, firm foundation. And I have the chakra that deals with emotions and desires. So this line, to me, very much speaks of where you guys are at. Making a much deeper emotional connection, getting more emotional satisfaction from your relationship, maybe physical as well, and that's what the Ace of Wands speaks to, the passion. I think it's helping you to set down a firm foundation for a solid future for your relationship. And the positive movement forward card, to me, is just affirmation and encouragement for you guys to keep up with what you've been doing, because I feel like it's working and it's helping you to bond more. Alrighty guys, that's what this read spoke to me. So please feel free to leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. Feel free to like, to subscribe. We would love to have you as part of our community. Alrighty, take care.